Hello everyone, and welcome to the Missouri School Boards Association's Board Report for the month of June. We thank you for the opportunity to share some news and information during a few minutes of your board meeting. We begin with a look at the 2015 regular session of the Missouri General Assembly that adjourned on May 15th. One of the major bills approved by legislators this year was a measure originally intended to fix problems with the current student transfer law. But that became a vehicle to expand charter schools and virtual schools in some parts of the state. MSBA's Associate Executive Director for Advocacy, Mike Reed, says the measure, known as House Bill 42, does little to fix the student transfer law, but does authorize private virtual school operators to come into some areas of the state without adequate accountability to ensure they are providing high-quality instruction.
Well, virtual schools are run by people outside the state of Missouri, and their accountability is not the same. We already have a virtual program in Missouri, MOVIP. We should be funding MOVIP and not funding someone else. It's also that the cost is more. This is $2,000 more per student than they're paying MOVIP right now. So it could be an appreciable amount of money. Again, we're making sure that something on the outside is not well regulated, and it's a money grab.
House Bill 42 is now on Governor Nixon's desk. MSBA is urging him to veto the bill. Meanwhile, the General Assembly approved the state budget for the next fiscal year relatively early in the just completed legislative session. It includes an $84 million increase in funding for the school foundation formula. Governor Nixon has already signed the new budget into law, but he also struck language included in the budget bill related to student assessments. MSBA governmental relations consultant Mike Grote says the language would have prevented Missouri from paying license fees or membership dues to the Smarter Balance Consortium, the organization that has developed student assessments for Missouri and several other states.
It also essentially went forward and said that the state must develop its own assessment test that's a Missouri-based test. What the governor determined is that that language was essentially legislating through the budget, which is not constitutionally allowed. He struck that language. So what we've got is about $7 million in the budget for assessment, but no real direction on how the department has to spend it and how to move forward.
You can get a complete summary of the 2015 legislative session by watching a special edition of MSBA's Capitol Watch program posted on the MSBA website. The Missouri School Boards Association is among the groups endorsing an initiative petition effort to raise the state cigarette tax to fund early childhood education programs throughout the state. The proposal would raise the cigarette tax by 50 cents and distribute the revenue to counties for investment in existing health and education programs for children ages birth through 5. The tax would raise approximately $250 million. The effort is being led by Raise Your Hand for Kids, a coalition of business and early childhood education advocates. If the necessary signatures are gathered, the coalition is aiming to put the issue on the 2016 general election ballot. Learn more by visiting raiseyourhandforkids.org. Incidents of violence at public schools are declining according to a new national survey compiled by the National Center for Education Statistics. The survey reveals more than 88% of public schools have a plan for responding to an active shooter, and that most have practiced the plan. About 75% of schools now have security cameras, and about 80% of schools now have a parent notification system that automatically notifies parents in case of an emergency. MSBA's Center for Education Safety is a great resource for you when you have school safety questions or need guidance on ways to ensure your school buildings are a safe and secure learning environment for your students and staff. The CES is holding its annual Safe Schools and Colleges Conference September 29th through October 1st at the Lake of the Ozarks. Among the speakers at that event will be Police Lieutenant Richard Robinson of Newtown, Connecticut, who was on the scene of the Sandy Hook school shooting. MSBA is sponsoring a special visit to Washington, D.C. this summer. It's an opportunity for board members to meet with members of our congressional delegation to discuss federal education issues that are important to public schools. That trip is scheduled for July 6th through 9th. Check the MSBA website for details if you are interested in making that trip to Washington, D.C. Registration for the 2015 MSBA Annual Conference in cooperation with the Missouri Association of School Administrators opens this month. This year's event is scheduled for October 2nd through 4th at the Lake of the Ozarks. We'll have another outstanding lineup of keynote speakers and more than 100 breakout sessions, all designed to improve the leadership skills of school board members and administrators. You can register for the annual conference on the MSBA website. That's it for this month's edition of the MSBA Board Report. Thanks for allowing us to have some time at your board meeting, and so long from Columbia.